Hi, and welcome everyone from the high desert of Arizona. I am your host, Professor Tuck. Hi, and welcome to this week's broadcast. This is Digital Thursday. Every Thursday, we break down what's going on as far as the digital economy if you are looking at being a homesteader. We talk about the issues that are at hand, and sometimes I sit back and I share knowledge and information, which is what today is going to be. So usually this type of stuff is less scripted than anything else that I do. So I want to welcome you guys to the podcast. Those of you that are listening on YouTube, be sure to come over to hobotuck.com and sign up for my weekly digest where I send you all the articles, and you can go back in and listen to the ones that you want. For those of you that are wondering, because I sometimes talk into the green room and it sounds like I might be talking to myself, but I promise you I am not schizophrenic. What's going on is we have the green room open. You have to be a member of Patreon. In the green room, we smoke and toke and joke, and it's a BYOB situation. So if you want to come and join the party beforehand, it starts about 30 minutes before the broadcast. So the broadcast starts at 5:30, and then the green room starts at 5 o'clock, and then after the broadcast, we spend about another 30 minutes in the after party. So if any of y'all have questions, anything else like that, not only do you get to chat, but then you get to come in with the cool community. We've got a few people over there right now, and it'd be nice to have a lot more people in the room just to be able to keep the energy going. So if you like to smoke and toke and joke before the live stream or before the broadcast, come on over to Patreon. It's patreon.com. My channel name is The Hobo Prepper. And if you're watching this on other mediums, you will see the link down in the description. So with that being said, what we're going to be talking about is we've talked about a lot of the stuff that's going on with AI. We've talked about how AI is doing surveillance, how AI is going to be unregulated. From what I understand, the House finally passed the bill, the Big Beautiful Bill. So it's a big, beautiful day to pass a big, beautiful bill to burn the Big Beautiful Constitution. And this is the 10-year AI moratorium on regulation. That was part of this big beautiful bill. As you know, they take bills and then they cram all their pork projects and stuff like that in there. And so I'm wondering how much Sam Altman and the other AI tech leaders had to do with this. That is one thing that's going on that you got to be aware of. And we've talked about that enough. Let's talk about how to build yourself in the digital economy, what it really means, what it takes. Because I started a brick and mortar business. Well, it would be considered a brick and mortar business. It was a service-based business. I was getting into the digital economy just as it was getting started. But marketing yourself as a service to your community is a little bit different than going online and building a full online community. And also, uh, um, also there's a lot of differences between that and having like a home-based service business like what I had with my janitorial and my cleaning business. And there's a difference in marketing in the way in which you see it. But most people sit there and think, well, hey, if I get into the digital economy, what am I going to do? I'm 45, I'm 50, I'm 55, I'm 60. There's a lot of people that are over the age of 40 that are getting on to social media, and they are doing it smartly. But here's the thing: if you're going to do this smartly, then that means you need to understand what the beast of social media is. Because if you listen to channels like vidIQ or Think Media or other gurus that try and teach how to make a business out of YouTube, because now that robots and computers can do most things, we as humans have to find other ways to market ourselves for a livable income. And I think that there's going to be a lot of changes. And we talked about this a little bit in the green room. I'm not going to talk too much about it here. But I think that there is an internal battle going on between factory workers and quality of life. So, okay, so my dog is okay. So she just went over. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on my dog. I'm off grid here in Arizona, and so I live in a trailer. I let my dog wander, but as long as she stays on the property. So She's trying to find a cool place to be is really what's happening. Um, but anyways, getting back into what's really going on, um, is that is that uh, you're going to have to figure out a way to take what it is that you have, what you've been doing for years, what you've taken skills for. Because here's the real thing that's happening in the world. The real thing that's happening in the world is that, hold on one second, guys. I got to go get my dog.
Samantha Marie, get your butt back here right now. Come on, hurry up. Get in the house. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Hurry up. Get in the house. Oh, shit. Hurry up. Come on. Get up there. Go.
All right. Sorry about this, guys. My dog likes to wander. Go lay down. And so yeah, you guys, if you guys see me on YouTube, you'll see my dog. But anyways, let's get back down to where we were. Which is, let's talk about how we're going to be a part of the digital economy. How do we transfer what we've learned in, brick and mortar jobs that we've done, and how do we take that and transfer that over into the digital economy? Because that's going to be the most important question that most people end up asking. So you have to sit there and ask yourself, what is it that you bring of value to society? So let's just say you are in a low skill, no skill job. Let's say that you can do customer service. Let's say that you can do surveys and things like that. So what does that mean for you as an individual? Like, how do you transfer that into the digital economy? Well, you could start freelancing your services and things like that, to a point where, to a point where, like, you can go on Fiverr and you can go on Upwork, and I've actually done this myself. You can go on to Fiverr and Upwork and find gigs that are on there. They're looking for people to be, like, I've done appointment setting, I've done customer service, I have called lists, I've done all kinds of different things, in just with, being on a phone. Yeah, everything from customer service to surveys to, what do you call it, to telemarketing. I have done, because you, instead of going to a brick and mortar job, which may or may not have enough hours depending upon how many contracts they have, you have the ability to go to an online forum like Fiverr or Upwork and start peddling your basic skills to be able to get something done. So if that is something that is really, that you're like thinking, well, I don't know, I can't really do anything. Well, you still can. If you have artistic ability, there's a lot of different things that you could do with technology. It can help you. I have a good visual imagination, but taking that visual and putting that visual into a thumbnail or any other graphic design or art, I'm using things like ChatGPT or Canva to be able to get done, so that I can still have my artistic ability being done, but I'm being assisted through technology. And so let's say you put out there that you can do YouTube thumbnails, and you're doing them for, like, let's say $5 a piece. That's great. You can freelance your way through it to a point where you, hold on one more second, guys. You have the ability to take what it is that you have learned, or what skills you have, or what passions you have. Let's say you like woodworking. Well, that means if you've got the tools and it's a hobby that you have and that you do, now you could build yourself your own web page. You could sell them online, charge them for shipping, start doing custom things. You're doing something that you're passionate about. You're doing something that you're going to actually enjoy. And because you're enjoying this, you have the ability to now make money off of it. The difference between what we went through over the previous 150 years versus what we're moving into now is that with the advent of technology, with the assistance of technology, it can take somebody like myself who has an imagination and can see things, but just doesn't have the artistic ability, and help those visions become dreams, become reality, become an avenue for you to be able to make money. There are all kinds of different things. There was a time when I first lost my janitorial business. I or actually, I closed it down. When I first closed down my janitorial business, uh, I started doing gig work through an app called Shift Smart. Okay, SHIFTSMART, Shift Smart. Okay, you can go online, you can apply, you can do customer service, you can do on-site work. So I would go to Circle K's and I would travel around all the different Circle K's, and I'd be there for about 4 hours, and I would do whatever stocking they needed to be done, and then I would get paid for the work once I was done. And so I would submit my time card electronically, and then I would get paid like 2 hours later. And then I could have it instantly transferred into my bank account. And so therefore you're being treated as a 1099. They have you show up for one specific thing, but you can still go on site and do on site work, because with the automation of the workforce, if they actually still need humans, they're not going to need them on the level that they need them. And one thing I learned about being a small business is that sometimes you need people for a day or two. You don't need them for all week. And so being able to find people that can freelance, especially as everything becomes way more automated and uh, way more technology driven, the need for the human worker is going to be minimal. So therefore, freelancing yourself will give you an opportunity to not only control your own schedule, because you may say, I want Monday and Wednesdays off because I take my kids to after school things or whatever it may be. You have the ability to restructure your lifestyle and have your work schedule fit you, because now you're controlling your schedule. That was one of the greatest things I ever found about being self-employed, is your ability to be able to control your schedule. So if I had a day where I was having a lot of mental issues, because I suffer from PTSD, where I just needed to take a day off just because the stress was getting to me, I could reschedule my appointments. Unlike a job, you'd have to call in. And if you're on a point system like you are in some of these call centers, the point system puts you in a place where if you call in too many times, they're just going to fire you. There's no way to get away with it. So if you're doing a stressful job, and you need to take time away every once in a while, it's an issue. It becomes an issue. You will lose your job. Whereas if you have your own business, you have your clients have a basic understanding. So when I first started cleaning in Oregon, because we relocated from Oregon down to Texas, and when the border crisis hit, that's kind of when I had to close my business doors. But when we first started out, I met a guy that was an asset for the CIA. He was an analyst, and he was like almost 70 years old, and he liked having us come in, and he did psychological profiling, and he really had a thing for helping people with any type of emotional or mental issues, because he would go to the United Nations, and he would propose different policies and things like that. He was one of the movers and shakers of the globe, and I got to clean this guy's house. And he explained to me that for a lot of people who have disabilities or who are disabled themselves, they still want to be productive in life. And one of the few jobs that you can do in life is cleaning when you have mental health or emotional or other physical issues, because it's the only thing. It's a low stress environment. You show up at night when nobody's there, you get your work done, you get left alone, and yet you can get work done, you can be productive, and you can feel good about yourself. So 80% of the cleaning industry is people that have those issues. This is the only thing that they can do that allows them to be stable and functional. It's a very